10 minutes, just of today. As a reminder, but again, we stick by the hygienic rules as communicated both in the official organization and by the
Eins, vier, acht. Machen 6. 6, 6, 4.
The final day of action here in Oberhof. Welcome if you've just joined us. It's the men's pursuit that is first off. We'll have the women's pursuit a little bit later on today. Starts at 14:45 local time. And Loganov is away. Jacquelin on his tail. Ligrid starting number 3, 93% hit rate in both prone and stand. That's been his key so far this year, not skiing quite as well as last year. Kern and Ries, the two Germans, go just about side by side. Babikov for Russia is underway, 6. Tadebo goes number 7, one of the quickest men on the track yesterday. Sorokvostov for Russia, followed by Fillon Maillet of France. Philip Fjeld Andersen goes for Norway. The deficit 38 seconds. Florent Cloud, great run from the Belgium athlete, starting 11th. Cheng and Bormolini both got BBs yesterday, starting 12 and 13. Then we have Samuelsson of Sweden in the yellow, just ready to go. The buff, as always, pulled up over the ears. And then Eric Lesser of Germany goes 15. 16 is Christiansen, who's been the best of the Norwegians so far this year. Not many people would have put money on that. Zachner and Jakob Fack go 17-18. Simbal is away. Sean Doherty of USA gets away number 20. And already a minute 10 between them and the race leader.
I'm just wondering, as those further down the field start their race, I'm wondering how the conditions. I hope we get up with the front of the field to see how slow the skiing is, and if Loganov has been caught by Jacquelin. I would expect he has been.
1:33 on the clock already. Johannes Tingesbo started at 1:22. Benedict Doll going at 1:42. There he goes. And then we've got from another group, 45, 46, 47. That's Kalili, Smolsky, Desieux, and then Nelin, number 48. So they are a group that certainly, if they can work together, feed off each other, they could close the gap down. A gain of 30 places is exceptional, but it has been done. Obviously not possible if you start in the front 30. Ligrid would be happy with 2 places.
What a pace Loganov has started out. I can't believe it. He's doubled his distance that Jacquelin had behind him. It was 7 seconds. It's now 14 seconds. Loganov really is attacking so strong at the front of the field.
That might explain why he's lost positions in every pursuit so far this year.
It's so much about control. And have a look at the athletes. This first climb, first time up, I think is very sensible to pace this huge climb, almost climbing since the start line.
Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on the Chinese athlete, number 12. That's Cheng Fangming. And so impressed with what he managed the other day. So impressed with the Chinese yesterday. So disciplined in the range. There's Loganov going through. Jacquelin looks to be clawing back the difference now. Remember, it started at just 7 seconds. Well, actually, it's grown another second on the last readout. 4 is Johannes Kern. Remember, a disaster in Hogfilson. He won the sprint and then came into the range in the lead for the last shoot, missed 3. But really, he was under pressure, wasn't he, Mike?
Oh, he really was. And the pressure in this race, when you start, for example, Johannes Tingesbo starting so far behind, 1:22 behind, you're playing the chase game all the time, so you're having to live uncomfortably with your pace to try and close this time deficit down. So painful at the back, but Loganov, on the other hand, normally the leader's taking it out within themselves, but Loganov is charging around the track today.
Yeah, Loganov's prone shooting, to be honest, has been good. So I wonder whether he's thinking, okay, I'll hit the gas before the 2 prone shoots, and then it might build me a cushion and allow me to ease up before the 2 stands, which is where he's been a bit weaker. Only at 74%. Most of the big guys between 85 and 90 at this stage of the season.
Very tight. There's Johannes Tingesbo. We've just lost him his left side as we look down the track. He can't get past. He's desperate to get through.
Yeah, he's got to just take his time. It's so much more effort to try and get yourself through a gap of 2 meters when you really need 3 and a bit to ski freely.
And I think, Patrick, the 10 kilometer 2 days ago, Johannes Tingesbo was the 6th placed Norwegian. I had to look back. I don't think that ever happened, even when he was 19, 20-year-old in his first World Cups. He was still managing second, third, fourth Norwegian athletes. So it was one of his worst ever performances in a sprint race.
47, just a quick glimpse of Simon Dessieux there. Just got a little bit of space to himself. I think that was Blanco just behind him. The pace slightly more sedate at the front, and everyone happy to go along with Johannes Kern. Lygrid has just tucked in. We saw Lygrid do this yesterday, Mike. As soon as the wind is against, he'll find someone to shelter behind. It's just common sense.
It is, but so many athletes they're in this mist, this storm of racing where, yes, your pulse rate is elevated. Yes, there's an element of tension, and you know the clock is ticking, but Oleana Bjørndalen could read the track well, read every situation, and I think you're right. Lygrid is very much that kind of athlete, the thinking athlete.
Well, having said that, he goes through in front of Kern just as they hit the headwinds. We'll see how long that lasts. I don't think it will be very long. Loginov on his own, and look at that margin. He's built it to something close to 20 seconds. He's not hanging around. So, money on the table. How many targets are going to fall? Remember, no spare rounds today, as we saw yesterday, and Loginov could do with 5 good shots to keep himself out front. If he can get 30, 35 seconds in front, Mike, the rest might stop to chase.
It's incredible. This is a powerful, and he looks so strong. The Christmas break has done him a lot of good. The spark is back, and normally he does get these first 5.
So the man from Saratov on the banks of the Volga, down in southwest Russia, about to attempt to try and maintain the lead.
Well, he looked very relaxed getting into position. The flags, the wind is not that difficult.
Five down before Jacquelin has won. So, no change in the lead. There could be a few changes in the order behind, though. Jacquelin taking a long time to get that first one away. Just patient. Remember, 2-time world champion in this discipline, Jacquelin. But he didn't miss on his third shot in either of them. Babcock shooting fast.
Yeah, Jacquelin taking his time throughout that whole process.
Lygrid gets 5, Talia Bo gets 5. Good shooting from the Norwegians. Germany disappointed to see Ries and Kern miss. 2 misses from Kern. He could drop down outside the top 7 or 8 with that shooting. Christiansen you'd expect to clear 5. Bormolini, haven't seen him this far up in a race for a long, long time. Certainly not a pursuit. So the Italian hopefully coming into a rare vein of form. Samuelson has 4 out of 4. Lesser, oh my goodness, Eric Lesser rattled through those targets. He's been on pretty good form ever since we saw him at Christmas.
He certainly has, and Eric can take the risk. Sometimes it doesn't pay off. We saw that at the Christmas, or during the Christmas break, at the Team World Championships, or Team Challenge that is, and he's up that fast shooting again. Johannes Tingesbo, he's missed 1.
Well, Loginov out in 7:17. So we're looking at a time of around, what, 35 minutes maybe to win this race. Or I think the loops will actually get a little bit quicker. What was it, 36 minutes dead last year, with Sturleholm Lygrid taking the win ahead of Johannes Dale of Norway, and Talia Bo making it a 1-2-3 for the Norwegians. Doesn't look very likely on their current form. Dale not even making the team nowadays. Extraordinary after the consistency he showed last year. Good shooting from the back of the pack, Mike.
Yes, it looks, the shooting here, normally there's Ponsiluoma. This is a good news day for Ponsiluoma, and his skiing pace, that will lift him dramatically. I think the wind was slightly kinder for the last quarter of the field.
Well, an excellent start from Loginov. That was a rare mistake. The visor is off, but no damage done. Well, I'm assuming that was his glasses coming off, Mike. And
I didn't,
of course, you're not allowed to leave anything on the range, so maybe he's just been distracted by that.
I didn't see that. I was looking at my times, looking at how fast Johannes Tingesbø is actually skiing today. Yes, you're not allowed to leave anything on the range. Sometimes glasses fall off. It's an accident. But normally that's as you're putting the rifle on, slightly away from the firing point.
Yeah, Ponsaloma the quickest out on the tracks. Johannes Tingesbø 2, Loganov 3, who is leading the way, and then Svetkov and Fillon-Maillet, the top 5 in terms of ski speed. Lygrid and Tarjei working together. Lygrid has certainly come up in terms of form over the last 3 weeks, seems to have benefited from his Christmas training program. Eric Lesser leading the chase group at the moment. Lesser starting 15. He's got himself into 8th position, or has he moved up a bit? No, he's got himself up into 4th. That's amazing from Lesser. As you can see with 15, he's taken the Swede Seb Samuelsson with him. Just looking for Sean Doherty. How's he getting on? The American who started in 20. He's got up into the top 15, certainly.
Yes, he has. Shooting 0 from 20th up to 14th position. That's a good news day for Sean Doherty. And I think he looks more relaxed, Patrick, having been announced as one of the 3 men who have been announced as qualified for the Olympics. So that seems to have relaxed him.
Yeah, Fillon-Maillet has just gone past Doherty, and the American doesn't seem to have any trouble just tucking in. Feng of China just at the back of that trio. His shooting, he missed one actually. Cheng Fangming, be disappointed with that after yesterday. Top 3 all went clear. Fastest to have missed is Emilien Jacquelin. Finds himself 45 seconds behind after the first shoot, and then 55 seconds behind at 3.1 kilometers. So Jacquelin either losing his form or just playing a very, very patient, energy-conserving game.
Strange. After his wonderful races in Annecy before Christmas, he said, okay, I need to do this more often, just completely attack. He says it prevents me from thinking about shooting and the race, to just push hard. So clearly, I would say he's a little health issue going on with Jacquelin.
Yeah, Loganov again extending his lead, but only by a couple of seconds over the 2 Norwegians, Lygrid Bø in this duo. Lygrid doing most of the leading there. Lesser still leading the chase group. He looks comfortable. Samuelsson, quite a lot of upper body movement from Samuelsson, Mike.
There is, but Samuelsson making it look very easy, and I think with respect to Eric Lesser, he's not the fastest in this group. And I'm a little surprised Samuelsson hasn't wanted to pass. Very difficult to pass today because the snow outside the press track, it really slows you down if you want to go wide and pass the athlete ahead.
Yeah, I'm not surprised no one's going past. They're quite happy to see Lesser out front. When you get this wind in the face, it's like you're skiing against a brick wall, and Lesser, bless his heart, has had to suffer that all the way round this second loop. Good to see the Belgians suit up. Great day for Belgium yesterday. Brilliant result in the single mixed relay for them.
Again, you couldn't ask for better shooting conditions on this range, probably the most difficult range in the World Cup Tour.
So the first 5 went down for Loganov. No reason to believe the second 5 should do the same. No real change in the conditions. Slightly left. Everything just a little bit left until the 5th shot, which was high right, but all 5 down, and he improves his prone score up to around 95% for the season. misses for Lygrid. One miss for Talia Boe. Is that going to be quick enough to stay in the top three? You can almost guarantee that 2 or 3 of these men on the mats at the moment will clear 5. Babikov has looked very good. He's suddenly come into fantastic form, Babikov. 4 down for the Russian. Samuelson working left to right, has the first 3 down. Babikov clears 5, and Talia Boe only halfway around the penalty loop at the moment. Samuelson goes 5, Lesser goes 5, and we have new chasers on the block. And Fabian Cloud, brilliant shooting from him. That's Florent Cloud, sorry, apologies to him. Florent Cloud racing for Belgium, Fabian racing for France. Must be difficult for the parents. Bakken, oh, 2 misses from Bakken. Today, I felt he needed to produce a sensational run to stop Anderson being selected for the Olympics, but at least he was ahead of him at the start of this shoot. Another miss from Chengmai. And again...
Yes, it's very strange. What happens now with this amount of snow falling, your vision on the target is less effective, it's less crisp and less clear, and I think that's why we're seeing so many. Oh, Johannes, he snatched that last one. That's expensive.
Yeah, another 2 misses, and we're not going to see a remarkable recovery. Today, the penalty loop, well used as ever. Generally in the pursuit, the top 10 do an average of 3.5 penalty loops each. Here in Oberhof, it's generally to do with the weather. It's a long, flattish approach to the range. It is a tough course, but generally it's the windy conditions.
This was beautiful routine. Is one big deep breath in, and then slowly as he's exhaling, the rifle moves through the target, and he gently takes the final pressure through the trigger.
Loganov almost a minute clear of everyone else now. He had 49 seconds over his teammate Babikov. Talia Boe with a penalty is at 52. Samuelson's at 53. Jacquelin 54. Lesser at 54. Looks to me, Mike, assuming that Jacquelin is not any slower than he was yesterday, that his tactics are starting to pay off. He's still in the top 5, and he's only 3 seconds off second place.
It's incredible. He shot reasonably fast the second time in and hitting all 5. And I did notice that most of the athletes are really slowing their shooting time down on this occasion, and especially Eric Lesser, his second fastest shooting time first time in, but he really was at the top end of his physical. He had to recover and take a few more breaths.
Yeah, Lesser with the fastest course time for that second lap. Samuelson to Cloud in 3.
Just thinking, Patrick, as always in biathlon, so much can change now. Coming in next for the stand shooting, we'll see many athletes, I imagine, missing in stand shooting, and that allows those chasing to have some hope if they hit 5.
So when we see the form of Babikov, who's just being overtaken there by Talia Boe, Mike, first World Cup we've seen him this year. On this sort of form, you have to wonder why.
Well, he's never traditionally been so fast on his skis. He's always been a great shot, which brought him into the team historically, and his results at IBU Cup have been better. It has shown an indication of faster skiing, and I think the interview yesterday when he, with Retsova, won the single mixed relay, he sounded as if he felt that he was now in the team and maybe for the Olympic Games.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Solid performances. Ruhpolding might need to do something there, although I think Antolz will be a better gauge. They obviously have to select their squads at the end of this weekend, Mike, but I think the coaches will look at performances in Antolz, where we're at altitude, before starting to cement the actual 4 who are going to do the racing.
Yes, and Antolz, it's always the magnifying glass on the individual, the 20-kilometer race there, to see who can cope with the difference. We only get 3 20-kilometer races in the whole season now, so the athletes aren't quite into the rhythm for 20 kilometres anymore, and 1 minute penalty for each target missed.
Samuelsson still clear. Eric Lesser hasn't missed a target. Florent Cloud of Belgium, he hasn't missed either. Svetkov is 10 out of 10. Leitner, Destieux, Schoma of USA has gone from 24 to 22, but hasn't missed a target so far. And Kalili and Jesper also unscathed in the range. That's good shooting. But Alexander Lognov at the front has done exactly the same. We've only seen... sorry, Mike, I was going to say, I think we've only seen once the sprint winner hitting all 20 targets and not finishing on the podium. And that was in a women's race this year. Lisa Theresa Hauser. Yeah.
It is unusual, isn't it? You expect that shooting score to win through. The wind is horrific up this home or straight, which will be to the finish line and into the range now. The best mover, I was going to say, Patrick, is definitely Svetkov from 52nd up to 17th right now, and the perfect 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's a huge gain from Svetkov, and Russia have certainly transformed their form over the Christmas break. They're looking very, very strong. They've got Babikov going well, Loginov obviously leading this race today. The French have been the dominant team up to this stage of the season. They still have 3 in the top 15. And Jacquelin, the World Cup leader, is their best at the moment, sitting in around 6th position, but a minute behind this man. 75% hit rate in the stand. If he can push that up to 100 today. That's not what he needs.
He didn't nervous, he didn't pull the bolt all the way back. There is an element when so much snow falls that affects the bolt as it goes forward. Ah, what a mess.
Yeah, but he's getting a little bit of extra breath in between each. May ultimately save him. He gets 4 out of 5. Messy performance, and he's gone before anyone else is in. So he's got a penalty loop to do. He will not be caught on this shoot alone. A minute to play with, Mike. He can afford a miss on the next one as well.
It's a huge lead. We don't often see a minute lead at half or just over half distance in the race. As you say, he'll be well and truly out and back on the race course before they even, well, maybe not before the first shot, but before they build position.
Watch for the yellow flashes. Each one incurring a 150-meter loop. None so far. Good start. There goes Babikov with the first miss. He has been pushing hard. Terebo misses. Babikov misses his second. Lesser and Lygrid with a miss. Samuelsson yet to miss so far today. But as soon as I said, he throws one wide. And Jacquelin, he's back on form. Another 5 targets down. And suddenly he's up into 2nd place and looking to secure another big bucket of points for his World Cup challenge this year. And guess what? His teammate has done exactly the same.
Incredible. Jacquelin was skiing by his normal standards very slow. He let the group disappear ahead of him. He was 11 seconds slower than Loginov coming into the range, and it paid off.
Yeah, great skiing. Just looking for Jacquelin's time, 21 seconds slower than Serek Vostok on that last group. He was some sort of 13-14 seconds slower than Sturlaholm Lygrid. So unbelievable tactics from Jacquelin, and if it is tactics, then we could see some fireworks for him on the last loop. Maybe Loginov isn't so safe. Roman Rees, bit of a yo-yo performance from him, but 5 down in this first stand. Svetkov clears another 5 to keep his sheet clean so far. And I think Svetkov might be the only man clear so far. He's out in 12. He's certainly the only one in the top 15 who has hit 15 out of 15 so far, and he's gone from 52 to 12. Now, Mike, we're getting into the territory of the best improved athlete ever. I think the record's 33 places. Svetkov is already on 40.
What a day. The Russian team, their ski speed has improved. Without a doubt, today the shooting hasn't been bad. Babikov missing 3 out of 5 that time wasn't glorious, but most of the team are shooting well.
Yeah, and Kalili, who we saw at the Junior World Championships a number of times, he has cleared 15 out of 15 as well.
Oh.
A little bit of a stumble from Jacquelin. We're going to get another look at this.
I think that was Tarja. I think it was Tarja Burr who accidentally grabbed it, just skied over the end of his ski pole. I'm not sure.
We'll see what a difference that makes. There was 33 seconds between them. Loganov still pushing, as he has been from the gun. Credit to Loganov for an all-out effort, Mike, but also to the pisteurs around here who've done an incredible job to get the tracks into decent condition.
Oh, they were out so early this morning, a lot of digging, as you mentioned earlier, in terms of the range area, and they've been endlessly trying to press the tracks down, and it's a fabulous job. You need so many volunteers for World Cup venues, World Cup, or staging a World Cup, and so many were out this morning.
Yeah, that little stumble, or tumble I should say, from Jacquelin cost him 10 seconds. He's gone from 33.1 to 43.5 behind, and that margin growing again, so that certainly affected him, up to 48. So yeah, 15 seconds lost. I just get that horrible feeling, Mike, he's going to lose the race by 14.
Oh, it would be amazing. The best improver on the range third time in was Johannes Tingesbo. He shot 21 seconds, hit all 5. He went from 30th to 31st to 15th, I think it was, to 19th, sorry. So
yeah, he's now in 18th.
Forward.
He is in 18th. There's his brother, Tarja Burr, still going. And Florent Claude, still a good race from the Belgium. If he can get a top 10, that would be fantastic. His PB is 10th, so he's not far off that. He'd love to break 9, and a clear shoot would, I suspect, achieve that today. Generally, 50% of the field shoot clear on the last shoot. 50% minus.
Tough conditions. These conditions, they absorb so much energy. I suppose it's similar to running in sand. It just sucks the energy out of you, these soft conditions.
Philip Fjeld Anderson, a little bit in no man's land at the moment. He's only missed twice, but struggling for a little bit of speed. Coming up behind him is Johannes Tingesbo, who started 28th, and Burr quite happy to do the donkey work. My goodness, he is prepared to work hard, but he's got number 50 with him, which is Felix Leitner, and Felix Leitner's had a good day out.
He has, yeah, starting back at 50th, and Leitner often likes these head-to-heads, these mass starts, the pursuit competitions. Somehow he seems to raise his game.
Svetkov, Kalili, both from Russia, the only 2 men to have shot clear so far. Jacquelin is still, for me, still on the go slow, Mike. He's just not as sparky, certainly not as sparky as he was in Annecy just before Christmas.
And listen to his breathing there. He really is hurting. I'm surprised Eric Lesser and Theo Maillet behind Eric Lesser, there he is in red. I'm surprised they're not thinking we need to pick the pace up.
Yeah, Theo Maillet is absolutely cruising, isn't he, there in the red bib as the leader of the Pursuit World Cup. This is the 4th of 7 for the season. And, of course, the Olympic pursuit does not count towards the World Cup anymore.
Samuelson doing so much better today. Often you see that, don't you, after his mess up in the mixed relay yesterday, 2 times round the penalty loop.
Yeah, this little group, Mike, containing 1, 2 and 3 in the Pursuit World Cup standings. So lots at stake there as Loganov comes in for his last shoot. Now, he will know exactly what cushion he has, and at the 8.7 it was 48 seconds. How much of that does he spend trying to get a bit more recovery? Does he take an extra 5 seconds before the first round goes?
I think that would be, generally he's been very relaxed building this position, but generally he shoots so fast in stand shooting.
4 out of 5, it's his.
Oh.
Well, suddenly the doors are open. That is the script writers. Absolutely perfect for the script writers. But Loganov, we've seen that happen before. It happened to Johannes Kern in Hogfilsen. Shot perfectly until the last shoot, then missed 3. And no break in the rhythm when he missed the first one, Mike. That was interesting. He wasn't in a rush. He had 48 seconds to play with.
Quite incredible that. A complete, yes, meltdown, a mental block. Yes, he missed the first. He must have thought, I'll get this, the last 2. It didn't happen. He didn't hesitate. Maybe he should have.
Lesser has only missed 1 so far. Samuelsson's only missed 1. Jacquelin has only missed 1 so far, but has now thrown 2 wide. Fiormaillet, is he the man who's going to clear 5? He does. The lead is going to change because Loganov is still on the penalty loop, and Samuelsson's in the money here. Well, that's a fantastic run. Out comes, well, in fact, Loganov going round again. Fiormaillet is going to have some 30 metres. I don't think he'll quite believe this. He's going to make it if he can hold on. 3 pursuit wins in a row.
Unbelievable. What a turnaround. Samuelsson took ages to get all 5. Fiormaillet was very quick. He's 8 seconds ahead. And Loganov will mentally still be suffering from missing his last 3 shots.
Yeah, and Ligrid's back in the picture, Mike. And, you know, we know that Loganov has been working hard. He's either on incredible form or he's been pushing the pace all the way through. Out goes Tadej Bo, who suddenly goes back up into the top 5, having been outside the top 10. This is why we love biathlon, because things could change so fast. And look who is still on the penalty loop. The World Cup leader going round and round and round. A disaster for Jacquelin with, what did he have, 3 penalty loops? Must have been.
We heard the stress level physically he was by the microphones at the side of the track. He sounded exhausted. He's definitely got a physical problem today, not functioning as he normally does. And that caught up with him last time in.
Yeah, Jacquelin comes out with Babikov, who may well out-ski him. Florent Cloud, we were talking about his PB. He's never bettered 10th. He's in 9th position at the moment, but he has some very quick skiers behind him. Good shooting from Samuelsson. He's up into 2nd, only 8 seconds down on Fiormaillet. We have a race on our hands. Fiormaillet, remember, was in that group of 4 earlier on, and he looked very relaxed. Samuelsson is closing, but the body language isn't particularly good, Mike. But as we've already mentioned, he has a lot more upper body movement than most. There is Loganov. Is he closing? He was 20 seconds behind. Now the margin back to Loganov is 18, so he's closing, but very, very slowly.
Loganov must be feeling terrible with Tadej Bo. I think Tadej Bo could actually take that 3rd position when they cross the line, but Loganov knows he has to keep fighting. In fact, I'm surprised he's not going to back off and let the 2 Norwegians pass to rest him behind them.
I've got the margin at about 5.5 seconds, Mike. So Samuelsson has closed roughly by 3. He is running out of time. They're through 10.6. Remember, the total distance 12.5. And now we see a little increase in pace, a little increase in the tempo from Fiormaillet. He knows that if he can be in front at the top of this climb, his chances of winning are absolutely brilliant. But if Samuelsson can get in the slipstream, Mike, before they come into the home straight, then he's got every chance of taking it.
He has. He needs to make contact sooner. He's going to run out of steam, run out of energy. Look at Loganov. He's not going for the let the Norwegians past option. He's trying to break them on the track.
Well, that's going to be tough. Still skate 2 from Loganov. That's an indication of how strong he is at the moment. The 2 Norwegians switch to skate 1. Good. They've gone down into 1st gear very, very early.
They all know the importance of the home straight. Who's going to lead off the top of the rise? Or it's far better to be 2nd or 3rd place off the top of the final rise.
So still Fiormaillet survives. He won the pursuit in Hogfilsen. He won in style in Annecy. And he could well take it here as well. Yeah, great racing in Annecy, wasn't it, Mike? A real treat to have fans. And not only that, we had some of the best racing of the season.
Ah, the sunshine, the blue skies, the fans. I think, what, 21,000 spectators allowed around the track and in the stadium. It just gave it the life that we're so used to in the past in terms of biathlon spectators.
Yeah, and a handful of home victories as well, which always helps to boost the atmosphere. Now the chasing pack have suddenly seen that Samuelsson is starting to slow, and it's Taliabo on the left wearing 7, Lygrid 3. Lygrid, the winner of the pursuit standings last year. Loganov suddenly finds himself struggling, paying the price for that early pace, but the Norwegians certainly haven't got away.
Oh, this is a good intense. Oh, it's a real fight here. Loganov now needs to stay with it. He was nearly chopped off there by Lygrid coming back onto the track in front of him.
Well, into the home straight now, and I think Fiume has done enough. He has done enough. He's still got that 15-metre advantage over Samuelsson. Last little bit of climbing to go. Samuelsson's effort, he put in a huge burst at the bottom of this climb, but he's started to slow now and probably has to start thinking about defending second. Fiume is safe, and he started the day in second place in the World Cup standings, 24 points below Jacquelin, his teammate, and Jacquelin, when we last saw him trying to find his position, Mike, I think Jacquelin might lose the yellow bib. No, he's in 14th place at the moment, which will give him 27. We're going to be back to single figures in terms of the difference between the top two in the World Cup.
Loganov, he's going through a world of pain physically, but mentally missing those 3 targets. That will live with him through to Ruhpolding next week. Takes a long time to get rid of that out of your mind.
18 hits out of 20, and it's enough. Quentin Fiume takes yet another victory. That's a fabulous effort from him. He started 9, his 9th victory on the World Cup, his 3rd in succession in the pursuit races. Samuelsson gave it everything. Good shooting from the Samuelsson. 19 hits out of 20, which are the Norwegians going to take it. I think Taliabo just squeaked in there. 15.6 ahead of Lygrid. And Loganov, what is going to go through his head when he goes to bed tonight? He had 50 seconds advantage over everyone going into that final shoot. 3 misses, the last 3 shots going wide, and Loganov drops to 5th. Agony. Roman Rees, the best of the Germans.
So much can change, especially the last time into the range, and Fiume is turning into the ultimate pursuit machine.
Yeah. Fabien Cloud in 7th for France, Lesser in 8th, and getting a PB. Yes, he celebrates. Florent Cloud gets 9th position. First time he's achieved that. Still beaten by his brother, which will hurt a bit. But there he is, just 20 seconds behind Fabien. But excellent day for the family. 9th position. Babikov 10. Could have been so much better. Babikov looked fantastic early on, but in the end missed 4 shots. So Vostov with 5 misses. Svetkov with 1. Good shooting for Svetkov. 40 places gained. How about that? 120 behind at the end of the day, and he started 205 behind the leader, Loganov. Jacquelin 17th, Mike, and 17th place gives him, I think, 24 points, and Fiume picks up 60. I think the lead has changed. I think the lead has changed.
So many times this season, it was 7 times the lead had changed, or the yellow bib had changed coming into Oberhof. It's an amazingly tight season.
Johannes Kern down in 22. Jacquelin, Mike, 2nd down to 17th. That's a disaster. Johannes Kern, not much better. 4th, all the way down into 22nd. And when you have a good climber, like we saw from Fabian Cloud 23-7. Lesser went from 15 to 8. It means that someone has to go down the order. And Svetkov again, worth mentioning, 52 all the way up into 12th. Brilliant. Tarjei Bø closing the gap on Christiansen, who was the best placed Norwegian at the start of the day. There were, what, 16 points between them. Another podium for Tarjei Bø. It's astonishing, Mike. He really has fun. As they say, he's like good wine.
He certainly is, and he's managing his shooting a lot better this season. Last year he had the ski speed, but the shooting wasn't there every day. This season he's rarely having bad days.
Burkhalter of Switzerland in 41st position, having started 29. Another poor day for Dominic Vindisch. 7 misses in all, 7 times 150. He's done over an extra kilometre. That is painful, painful stuff. No wonder he's 3 minutes 43 behind.
There's Cheng just crossing the line now from 12th to 47th. Normally shooting well, but the pace, I think he was in a new place in the field, chasing at that pace, it set him back.
Yeah, new experience really, Mike. In the individual races, you race your own race. But he coped with the relay pretty well yesterday. But I think that's a big disappointment after his superstar performance in the sprint. Here's your day's winner. Not sure what that's all about. But Phil Maillet just underlining how easy it was. It certainly wasn't. He had to work for that one. But he was given it. He was handed it by Loganov, who really should have sealed the victory. Great timing on the lunge from Tarjei Bø.
Yeah, I thought that was a real brave effort from Tarjei Bø to try and break, to get rid of Ligrade and Loganov. He did achieve that with Loganov, but the pace was terrible. And then into the headwind, he handed a big advantage to Ligrade, who was tucked in behind him. But Tarjei had the strength to take the 3rd position.
Another 60 points. The French are the dominant nation at the moment in the men's tour. Today, they've obviously got position number 1. They've got 7 with Fabian Cloud. Then we have to go down to Jacquelin, who is 17th. Detieu, who is 19th. So 4 in the top 20. Norway have got 2 in the top 5 with Bø and Ligrate. And then we have to go all the way down to 18th to find Andersen. Johannes Tingesbø from 28th up to 21st. He's got to start hitting those prone targets, Mike.
It's a real issue, and when it is in your mind all the time, and when your coach is telling you what to do all the time, it's a difficult situation. You have to try and build confidence back, and he isn't achieving that in the races which go by. So I'm worried for him, and I do hope he gets it back for the Olympics.
Well, those shots showing you just how deep the snow is. And what an incredible job the course officials have done here in Oberhof, because I really don't think Loganov was disadvantaged too much at all by going out first. We did see the skidoos going around just before the start of the race, and I think that was absolutely necessary.
Yes, and those wide, the pressure pads there, they're not pressing deep, but absolutely he floated across the snow on his first lap. In fact, Loganov had very, very fast skiing the first 4 laps and faded as expected after 3 penalty loops leading into the last 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have a very good idea of who produced the quickest time on the last loop. It was the man who was leading the chase for much of it, Tarjei Bø, 5:41. Ligrate the 2nd fastest. Roman Rees put in a good last loop, and Loganov 12.9, so nearly 13 seconds slower than Tarjei Bø on that last loop.
looks to me as if only 5 of the best 60 today missing one target. That was the best shooting score today, so 5 people missing one.
There you see the scores and the times. Quite big margins in the end. Congratulations again to Florent Cloud, his first top 9 result. Further down the field, Philip Fjeld-Andersen did himself a power of good in the sprint in terms of Olympic selection, but 18th today with 3 misses. Maybe the selectors have to think again. Good shooting on the whole for the Russians in the first 3, then it fell apart, and none more so than Loganov, who loses the win. Field by A takes the victory. At the back of the field, some big shooting scores. Cheng. We won't big him up again, Mike. I think maybe we put the pressure on him, saying how good the shooting was. But he's done a little bit better than Planko from Slovenia with 10 misses. It always feels a bit mean to pick out the bad results, but it does make mere mortals feel a little bit better, because they generally get 10 out of 20.
That's so true, and it's a very difficult today. When you look at the shooting scores, the best 60 in the world at the moment, it's difficult. You'd expect, what, 3 or 4 zeros on a good shooting day, but the visibility through the sights of these dark conditions with a lot of snow falling, it makes it difficult.
Kantan, congratulations. Fantastic comeback. Also after a difficult start today. And it's Yellow Bay back to you. How do you feel?
I feel good. You know, it's a very, very hard race with the 2 miss and the first shooting. I never expect come back for the win, but I give my best again. And the track, the snow, it's very slow, and shooting, it's not easy. It's snowing. It's a hard day for biathlon, but I'm so happy to win today. It's so good.
Actually, how did you cope with fixing the problems you had with the 2 misses and then doing so good?
I don't know exactly. In the first shooting, I click because I think there is less wind, but in reality, there is a little bit more wind. And the next shooting, I click again for being the center, and I don't miss for the next of the race.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Unser Maskottchen Flocke freut sich. Winkt in die Kamera. Die Flocke ist schon bereit. Das ist genau ihr Wetter. Flocke unter gleichem Bild.
Grattis till silverklassen från Sverige, Sebastian Samuelsson. Pour la victoire en Coupe du Monde, félicitations à la France, Quentin Fillon-Maillet. Norge styrer hovedlageret. Russia, Alexander Loginov, 186 rang.